need to actually finish up all that Sim Universe stuff. I still haven't finished Swarm Disaster. I'm close, but like the last couple of things are such a pain in the balls to do. I just don't want to deal with it.
Feel that.
Because like all of them have to be done on whatever the difficulty 4, and I'm just like I don't want to, because I have to run a very specific path to get a couple of them done, and I don't like that path, and
Yeah, man, I probably need to do all that too.
yeah, like it's fun to do every once in a while when I feel like it, but like I can't sit down and just focus it down like some people do.
I'm just repeating my stand-up for content. I did
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I
I
guess
did
it
it
would help.
exclusively on stream.
It would help if I streamed and that was like my content, but I do not stream.
What do you mean you're streaming up now?
All will be swept
You
away
know
by
what I
the
mean?
wind.
I am skill issuing on Wooer right now.
The only issue with the content is the chat giving you some weird big name like Grand the Maya. And
I mean, honestly, that's a lot worse than what could be happening. That's funny and light trolling. I don't want to have to get the hammer out.
yeah, it could be something like, if you let trouters get away, you're gay. Someone's just gonna come in randomly and see like Grand the Maya stuff and be like, what the f?
No, it's kind of accepted that, like, you get a little bit of weirdness until you fully acclimate yourself to a new chat.
What's chat gonna call you, like uncle or cousin or some shit? Chat, you need to give Aka a title.
No, they really don't.
Bitches Sebas will think of something. The only elder to surpass Grand Maya. Actually, Aka is older than me. A god, you're older than a Grand Maya. I'm sure this will have far-reaching consequences. He existed before the black and white era. He was there when it was pure darkness. My god, Sebas. The grandma jokes. I could probably make like 10 Grand Maya shorts at this point. And creative ideas for writing or my specialty. Grand Maya is clumsy with technology and showed us her Discord DMs. Truly a Grand Maya moment. What do you mean I didn't show you my DMs? I mean, you could see my Discord server list. I didn't show you my DMs. You're gaslighting me. And I didn't show you anything. What do you mean you almost gaslit me? You were trying to? Sebas. I dare. Just gonna bully the streamer like that. Sebas over here bullying the Vtuber. I feel a headache building. And me, what's funny to watch people worry about stuff they shouldn't. That's what mean. Is it bad that I have headaches frequently enough, but I just have a gigantic bottle of pain medication on my desk?
I mean, I do too. It's fine.
I also have a wall of NOS cans on my desk.
I mean, that's a little bit more concerning.
That feel when drinking energy drinks is more concerning than having just a bottle of pills on your desk. What do you mean, Sebas? I need energy drinks. I'm old.
I mean, if you think about it, if you probably stopped drinking all those energy drinks and actually just got a decent sleep schedule, you probably wouldn't have as many headaches.
I mean,
I'm sorry, is logic too much?
you a fucking
So-
Dr. Aka?
Spell it with a K at least.
Like Doctor from Arcanites?
Oh, I don't know, I didn't play Arknights.
Yeah, it's funny. Pain meds and energy drinks do not sound like a good combination.
I mean, they're not a good combination, but that's literally how I spent like the entirety of my 20s, so
The funny part is, I took more pain medication than him.
it could be a lot worse. It could be pain medication and beer, so like, you know, we take the W's where we can.
I have good habits, I promise.
Uh-huh. Well, about that time where we were talking and you randomly knocked over your tower, leaning tower of monster.
Yeah, I think I had like 10 cans on each level, and there were 3 levels.
It sounded like the cacophony was just enough to wake the dead. It was disturbing. Like,
It's funny that went over the microphone through NVIDIA broadcast, dude.
and the best part about it was you said, not again. Like, this is not the first time that this has happened.
Yeah.
Like, Maya, we need to discuss a couple of things.
Look, to be fair, okay, I had just rebuilt it the last time. That time, I just shut them all.
Every petal and all will be
Yeah,
swept
but-
away by the wind.
No, you should have still, like, okay, you know what, whatever. It's just, my head hurts too much to deal with that. Like that, we're gonna put a pin in that and deal with that at a later time. Like, I'm too tired for that.
That feel when you make the doctor tired of your bullshit.
Hold on, how do you know what happened between me and my therapist? That was supposed to be confidential. I used to go to a therapist, but it's okay. We're okay now.
I used to go to a therapist and then they moved to a different clinic. I still should be in therapy, but I don't have one. They can't find me one.
Funny thing, used to be in therapy, but they told me that there's nothing they can do for me anymore. Yeah, my therapist, the person I was paying, said, "Nah, you're not worth the money." So now I just get through life by self-deprecating jokes and hating myself. Haha.
I don't know what to think about that.
It is what it is. Some people were born to have love. Other people were born to be the butt of jokes. I mean, psychologist is different, right? Because a psychologist, their primary thing is just to prescribe you drugs. Like, that's what they're there for. A therapist is there to just have you talk. If you're at a point where, like, you're not chemically imbalanced, but you just need, like, someone to help guide you through your issues, then a therapist would be a better choice than a psychologist. And most psychologists will try to not pump you full of highly addictive, mind-altering drugs. No, honestly, you should. If people have told you that you should probably seek help, then you probably should. There is a service out there that I don't know if it's free or if it's like super cheap. BetterHelp.com, I think, is what it is. You should probably take a look into that. I will say that the little bit of time that I did spend in therapy did help a lot, and it's something where I think every person, especially post-COVID situation and everything, everybody, it's not bad to ask for help, especially mental health. There's a lot of shit going up in there, and to have someone help you declutter, it's like you're defragging your hard drive. It's just good for you to do every so often.
You need to be fragging your hard drive. Good way to put it.
That's what I always told my therapist, is that every time he's like, "Well, what do you think of their therapy sessions?" I'm like, honestly, I just look at it like I'm defragging my hard drive. And he's like, "You know what? That's a good way to look at it." It's good. It's just good. And if you actually feel like you're in a position that you need to do that, there's no shame in seeking mental help. Zero shot I get that without an issue coming up sooner or later. You get what? The betterhelp.com or?
I definitely think I should be in therapy. I think it's required for transgender people.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm surprised you're not. It is required. Because, I mean, you are going through a massive psychological and physical change. It's just good to have someone there to help talk through. Not to mention, like, have you started hormones yet? I can't remember.
Gonna have years.
Yeah, the hormones alone. I honestly think every teenager should be mandatory to sit down with a therapist, because Jesus Christ, the hormones.
And it don't matter how old you are, when you start HRT, you may as well be a teenager again.
Yeah, although. I mean, yeah, we get into serious topics like this every so often, but generally it's about something that one or both of us really feel strongly about. And I have always been a proponent that everybody should, like, no one should feel ashamed to ask for help or just to sit down and talk to someone about a therapist. And that's why I kind of like the idea of BetterHelp.com, especially considering you can do it relatively anonymously and through the internet. I just think it's a fantastic service, and I know a couple of people who it's really helped. It's just one of those things, especially with the way the world is today, everybody could use someone to talk to, and sometimes people just find that talking to someone who has absolutely no relation to them whatsoever is good. And if you're going to do that, you might as well talk to a trained professional who can deal with any kind of situation that might crop up.
And hopefully have insurance pay for it. That's my big thing.
Well, BetterHelp.com is one of those things where it's like, it's super cheap or something. I forget exactly what the thing is, but it's a service that's supposed to help whether you have insurance or not, and not break your bank.
Yeah, I don't have a bank to break.
There's a lot of things in this world that I'm kind of sad about. There are parents who put too much pressure on their kid. There are parents who don't think that their kid, or don't let their kid get the help that they need.
That was me. My dad would not let me get tested for autism. And now I'm sitting here undiagnosed.
And a lot of it, like, there's some things that are just outright just ignorant. The really tragic times is the times where the parent wants to do well by the kid, but just can't, because they themselves have issues or, like, struggling to just survive.
Wish my dad would have accepted that, maybe I wasn't normal. Boy,
that's
was
the other
I about
thing.
as far from normal as you get.
And that's another thing, like, no parent wants their kid to not be normal, right? So sometimes a lot of them just think, like, if they just ignore the problem, it'll go away, but that doesn't always work.
Yep.
My mom used to always say, because I'm the firstborn, she feels like she did bad by me. Like, a lot of situations that I went through, it cropped up for my brother, and because she went through it with me, she knew how to handle it, so she feels like I got the bad rap, that I was kind of like the experimental child for her. Because, I mean, it's not like there's a course you go to in college, how to be a parent 101, right? Like everything's experimental. And she always said that she wished she had like a sugar child that she could do a run through a life first before she had me, so that she was better prepared. And it's kind of like you gotta think parents are people too. Things happen. Like I'd make a terrible parent because I'm forgetful as fuck. So like, you know, a kid's recital or something, I would just forget until it's like 7 p.m. and the recital started at 6, and I'm like, shit, I gotta go pick him up. I was supposed to be there cheering him on. Like,
Don't be afraid I'd be like that.
I know I am. I know I would. I'd have an alarm and I'd be annoyed that the alarm would be going off, and then I'd remember like an hour later why the alarm was going off. I'm a terrible person. It's fine. That's why I don't have kids. That, you know, chronic single syndrome.
Chronic single syndrome. I mean, same though.
My dad makes fun of me because they found out I was going to a psychologist on my own trying to get tested for stuff. Oh, yikes. That's kind of... I mean, I don't know. It depends how he makes fun, because it might be just his coping mechanism. Like, I make jokes about terrible situations all the time because that's just how I cope.
Same.
But if it's like a constant thing and it's not just like a haha, like you're crazy kind of deal, but like actually hurtful, that's a yikes. I didn't raise this one. Don't stick that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Am I a grand Maya or am I a kid? I'm not a kid. I am not a
Well,
child.
I mean, if you...
God, Akas the Great, Grand Aka.
I mean, that has a whole different connotation.
Oh,
You're the
yeah,
Grand
the cheetah
Maya,
temp.
just that he's older than you and he existed before time itself. Why does every single fucking community that I'm part of instantly puts me in as the Council of Elders? BDO, I was part of the Council of Elders before people even figured out my age, and...
I think I outed you as being older than me, though.
Well, yeah, that makes sense at least. Like, they have a reason for that. It's just like instantly, oh, you're an elder, teehee.
Because you give off
Oh.
that energy, Dr. Aka.
Yeah, fair. My friend who dragged me back to BDO is like, that's because you're that grumpy old man energy. I'm like, oh, fuck you. He's like, every time I think about you, I just envision you sitting on your stoop, sipping tea, screaming to get off of your lawn.
My God. That mind picture does seem to be very accurate. Mind picture?
Of me sitting on my
Oh,
my porch in a rocking chair, drinking sweet tea, yelling to get off my lawn.